Now let's move to the next section of the home companion. This is very important part of the workbook because this is where learning from school starts becoming real at home. What you see on the screen is an example from grade 1. Each home companion is connected to what your child is already learning in school, and it is designed to help you continue that conversation at home in a simple and natural way. Each home companion is divided into 3 distinct sections, that is before the lesson, after the lesson, and an optional activity. These are simple questions. Before the lesson, you can ask simple questions before they start learning the concept in school. The purpose here is not to teach, but to activate their thinking and understand what they already know. Keep it light and conversational, like a discussion and not a test. Now, another section, the next section is after the lesson. These questions help your child reflect what they already learned in school. This is where deeper understanding begins. Because when children express something in their own words, they internalize it better. Then we have the optional activity. This is simple activity that you can do together as a family to reinforce the concepts. It helps move learning from just thinking into real life experience. Now, how parents should use it? Don't try to complete everything at once. You can choose one section at a time, maybe during dinner or any relaxed moment with your child. The goal is not completion. The goal is connection and conversation. Important thing to remember over here is that there are no right or wrong answers. Allow your child to think, express, and even pause. What matters is that they should feel heard and safe to share their insights. When used consistently, these small conversations create powerful shifts. Help your child to learn these concepts and also to live these concepts. Let us now move to the next section of this workbook. Welcome back, parents. We now come to the next section of the home companion. That is, what is leadership? Well, we at Leader in Me truly believe that everyone can be a leader. Leadership is not restricted to a few. Many a times, when we hear the word leader, we think of positions like class monitor, team captain, or maybe somebody who is in charge. But here, children are introduced to a much deeper idea that everyone can be a leader. Leadership in this context is not about authority, it is about how we take responsibility for ourselves and how we positively influence others. Even small everyday action like taking care of one's health, helping a sibling, or completing a task are all examples of leadership. Now, in a similar manner, there are 3 sections to this as well. That is before the lesson, after the lesson, and optional activity. Before the lesson section, you will see that there are certain questions where you can help your child, think about leadership in their daily life. These conversations will help children realize that leadership is not something distant. It is something that they are already of. Now, when you see after the lesson, here we are gently guiding the child to think that how can they, how the child will think that how can I be a leader of myself? How can I be a leader of others? And most importantly, they will help them understand that when model positive behavior, others naturally learn from them. And we have this optional activity here. As family, we can play a simple game where one person can act out a behavior and can guess what kind of leadership is shown. This makes learning interactive, engaging, and memorable for children. Now, as we have seen, this is for level 1, that is grade 1. In a similar manner, we will find the page about what is leadership in other grades as well. One important shift for us as parents in this is that instead of telling a child to be a leader, we start allowing them that they already are leaders through their daily choices. Now, this builds confidence, responsibility, and self awareness from a very young age. When children begin to see leadership in small actions, they stop waiting for opportunities and they start creating them. Welcome to lesson 3, that is about 7 habits overview. This is very important lesson because it introduces children to the idea that our daily habits shape who we become. Children begin to understand that small repeated action, what we call as habit, slowly build their behavior, their thinking, and even their future. A simple way to explain this to your child is a habit is something we do again and again, and when we choose good habits, we create positive results in our life. Now, in the before the lesson section, the questions are very simple and relatable. For example, asking what a habit mean or even how they hold their pencil. These small questions help children understand that habits are already a part of their everyday life. In after the lesson section, children are introduced to the first 3 habits. That is habit 1, be proactive. It is understanding that we are in charge of our choices. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind, is about having a plan before we start. Habit 3, that is put first things first, is doing what is important before just what is fun. You can support your child here by connecting these habits to daily routine, like getting ready for school, completing homework, or managing playtime. There is an optional activity over here. This encourages child to teach what they have already learned and they will teach it to the family. It's a very powerful activity because when children explain something, they understand it more deeply. You can also use this moment to reflect together as a family on your own habits. And instead of correcting habits constantly, we begin to gently ask, what habit are you choosing right now? This helps children become more aware and responsible for their action. Over time, these small habit-based conversations create big shifts, shaping not just behavior but character.